Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today it's time for my June TBR. I have 10 books that I'm excited to read in the month of June from a variety of genres, for a variety of purposes. I've got some mystery, some fantasy, I've got a nonfiction book. I know, who am I? I have a book that I'm a little concerned about, that I'm not quite sure I'm going to enjoy, but I'm going to try it anyway. And I also have my monthly buddy read as well. So without further ado, let's talk to you guys about some books. I will start with the books that I am pulling over from my May TBR that I just didn't get to, but I do still plan on reading. One of those is the Rabbitback Literature Society. So this is a 5-star prediction of mine. I'm not going to go through the entire synopsis, but I've been told that this is kind of a weird book featuring a literature society where there are 10 members. One of the members, I think, goes missing and someone is taking their place, and they start figuring out some odd things that might have happened to the latest member of the group. So I'm excited to get to this. Like I said, it's a 5-star prediction of mine and I just didn't get to it in the month of May. The next book that I'm pulling over from the month of May is Ashes of the Sun. This is a book that is for my secret project. I did talk about that in May. You guys will actually figure out what my secret project is on my next video, so stay tuned for that. So in the meantime, I can't really tell you what my thoughts on this are, but I will eventually. All I know about it is that it is an epic fantasy featuring, I think, 2 siblings, one of which is fighting for an empire and one of which is fighting against the empire, and we see kind of the culminating events. It is a series, it is a chunky series, and this author is another one that I will be reading another book by this month as well, which is kind of funny because I've never heard of Django Wexler before, and now I'll be reading 2 of their books in 1 month. My only buddy read, I believe, that I have scheduled this month is one with Leandra, and that is The Murder of Mr. Ma. So this is a murder mystery, and I'll just read you a bit of the synopsis. This is one of my new releases that I'm excited for this year. So the synopsis reads, London 1924, when shy academic Lao Shi meets larger-than-life Judge D. Ren Jai, his quiet life abruptly turns from books and lectures to daring chases and narrow escapes. Dee has come to London to investigate a murder of a man he'd known during World War I when serving the Chinese Labor Corps. No sooner than Dee interviewed a grieving widow than another dead body turns up, then another, all stabbed to death with a butterfly sword. Will Dee and Lao be able to connect the threads of the murders, or are they in line to be the next victims? I'm excited about this. It sounds Sherlockian, and I'm always game for that. And yeah, it's also one that I absolutely love the cover. So that's probably the first thing that struck me in putting it on my anticipated lists, or my anticipated releases list. But yeah, I'm excited to see what all the hubbub is about. I know that Judge D has their own series as well, but I think that this is a standalone mystery. I think you can read it without having read the other works beforehand. So it is a character that if I like, though, I have more books to pick up. Next is a continuation of a series because I need to do better about my series goal, and that is In the Labyrinth of the Drakes. This is by Marie Brennan. This is the 4th book in the Lady Trent series. And so if you guys haven't heard me talk about Lady Trent, the Lady Trent series are these 3 white books that I have here. So I own the first 3. You follow, they are the memoirs of Lady Trent, and you follow her telling her own story. So Lady Trent lives in a society where women are known as, they are supposed to be the gentler sex, and they are supposed to stay home and be homemakers and stay out of danger. And she has, from a very young age, wanted to study dragons, which is just not something women do. And so these books are about her forging her path into her career, that she is now a renowned dragon studier, a dragonologist. That's not a word that they use, but anyway, someone who studies dragons. And each of the books focuses on a different culture and a different, she will travel to different areas around the world and learn about the societies that have these dragons living among them. And I've really loved the series, and I can't wait to continue. The next book is the 2nd book by Django Wexler, and that is How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying. This was a title pick for me. I was looking at the anticipated releases for 2024, and this one came across the screen, and I was like, Yes, I don't need to know anything else. Whatever that title is, it is for me. But the first paragraph in the synopsis on Goodreads says, Groundhog Day meets Guardians of the Galaxy in this laugh out loud fantasy tale about a young woman who, tired of defending humanity from the Dark Lord, decides to become the Dark Lord herself. Yes. Check, please. I'll take that one. And it just came in on audio for me. I'm really excited about it. I think it sounds fun. And how weird that I end up reading from an author I've never heard of 2 books in 1 month. The next book is a bit of a weird book for me because it is nonfiction. And as you guys know, I do not read very many nonfiction books, but this is one I actually have in my collection. I will be picking up The Wager this month, and I am really excited about this. I think I've heard amazing things, and I think that this is a nonfiction book that I will end up enjoying. This is about a shipwreck, but also perhaps a mutiny. That's all I really know, and I've heard that it reads like fiction, and I'm excited about it. So I don't know why. This is a book that every single time I walked into Barnes & Noble, I don't typically go to the nonfiction section, but I always have to walk through it to get to the fantasy and sci-fi section, and this book was always just sitting on the table, and I felt like it was calling to me, and so I ended up purchasing it for my collection. So I do hope that I love it, and like I said, I've heard amazing things, so I'll finally get to it this month. The next book has been on my TBR forever, and I am finally getting to it, and that is The Empire of Exiles. This is the last book on my TBR for my last Fantasy Genre Blends episode, and so I will be able to create another episode for you guys with Fantasy Genre Blends, and I am really excited about this one. It says, magic, mystery, and revolution collide in this epic fantasy where an unlikely team of mages, scribes, and archivists must band together to unearth a conspiracy that might topple their entire empire. I have already started this one. I'm about 10% in, and there's definitely a lot going on, a lot of oddities, and a world that has some ancient lore that's very interesting. So, and like I said, I'm only 10% in, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything for you guys. There is a kingdom that has a salt wall built around it. And outside of this salt wall in ancient lore, there was a changeling army. So literally changelings, which I'm all for. Like I want to know more. So I hope that this book does lead us down the path where we get to see some of the changelings and talk about where they came from, who they, like, why they were trying to kill or whoever, you know, get into this empire, and what their goals were. But also I just want to learn about them as a species, I guess. And so that's what I've learned about that piece. But there's also an archive that this kingdom has of all of these treasures and things that were used in the past to either build the wall or that were like magical items that were used by previous rulers of the little kingdom that lives inside this salt wall. And I don't know, it's very vast. So we'll see. I'm enjoying it so far. And like I said, it's the last book on my Fantasy Genre Blends TBR, so I can finally talk to you guys about some new books that I'm excited to get to that are Fantasy Genre Blends. The next book is probably the book I'm worried about most on this TBR, and it is for a secret project, so I can't tell you guys my thoughts just yet, but we'll be able to eventually, and that is The Poppy War. This is a book I probably would never have picked up without this said secret project. And so, which, like I said, you guys will be finding out about very soon. But all I know about this is that it does involve it's military fantasy, and it involves some of China's history. That's really all I know. I know that it has some pretty gruesome things, like not gruesome, but like bleak things in it. Maybe gruesome, I'm not sure. But also some desperate dark acts that the main character may have to go through with. That's kind of the rumblings that I've heard as I've listened to people talk about this book. I think the reason I am most concerned with this is it's compared a lot, or at least alongside, The Grace of Kings. And while I absolutely loved the characters in The Grace of Kings, the storytelling wasn't exactly my style. And so I don't know. I think that's why this has never really been on my radar. I am excited to give it a try because it is one that I know has taken the internet by storm. And so I'm excited to see where I land. The next book is on my 24 in 2024, and that is Malice by John Gwynne. I have absolutely loved the Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne, and I have not read the, what's this series called? The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne, I think, is another series by him that people just absolutely love. And so I want to give it a chance because I have loved this author in the past. And so the little first piece of the synopsis says, Malice is a tale of blind greed, ambition, and betrayal set in a world where ancient monsters are reawakening and a war to end all wars is about to begin. I really like the aspect of these monsters reawakening. I know we have some within the Bloodsworn Saga. We had some gods that were very large and involved within the world that I really did enjoy that component. And so I don't know if it's going to be similar in Malice, if it's going to be different. And I don't know. The vast world that John Gwynne created for the Bloodsworn Saga, I can just imagine him being able to create a different world that still has those magnificent components. And yeah, I can't wait to get to this one. The last book on my TBR this month is called City of Blades. This is a continuation of a series because, as I said, I do need to be working on that goal. And so this is just one of the series that I need to continue with. This is the second book in the, I think it's Divine Cities series? I'll put the series title up here, but the first book is called City of Stairs. These are both books that are written by Robert Jackson Bennett, who has been an author in the past that I have dearly loved, and so I want to continue this series to kind of see what happens. Because it's the second book in the series, I can't tell you much about the second book. The first book, you are in a city that has, or I guess a nation that has once been very great and kind of ruled over by gods, given lots of powers and privileges by certain gods. But since then, those divinities have died or moved on. And so they have now kind of had to figure out how to live without them. The city is definitely not what it used to be. And there have been other powers at play that have come in and asserted their power over these peoples that used to be like the supreme power of the world. And you follow a character in that book that is very interesting, and she, I don't know how much I want to give you, but she comes in to investigate a murder, and she isn't necessarily who she's telling everyone. That's all I'll say. But I am excited to continue on with the series and read another Robert Jackson Bennett. So those are the 10 books that I plan on reading in the month of June. I am excited about each and every one of these, and I hope that they're all wins. I'm sure that there will be other books that sneak their way onto my TBR as the month progresses, but you know, what can you do? Are there any books that you are really excited to read in the month of June? Are there any new releases in the month of June that you can't wait to get your hands on? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to chat with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.